Peace, power, prosperity. Peace, power, prosperity. We got a legendary brother here today. Got a legendary brother here tonight. Today, brother Shawt, Davante D. Peters. How you feeling today, sir?
Man, I'm great, man. Can't complain, man. I feel honored to be able to sit at the table with you, brother.
Most definitely, most definitely. Look, I just want to cover some things that like you well known in the community. A lot of people know you. They know about you. They know about the Alkaline Hour. They know you're active in the community. I want to talk about some things that they may not know. Where your people from? Like your mother and father, where they from?
My dad he's from Dallas, Oak Cliff, but he also grew up in California, LA, and then my mom is from Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Okay, okay. So what was it like growing up in Dallas in the latter '90s, early 2000s? What was that like for you growing up?
I seen different parts of Dallas from, Oak Cliff, Highland Hills to McKinney to just being able to see different walks of life, different, how different pockets, different communities live. And, I felt like even if I wasn't necessarily around a ethnic melting pot, I was definitely around a cultural melting pot in terms of, seeing how people interact in McKinney and people interact with Oak Cliff. I would say, definitely moving to Oak Cliff or back to Oak Cliff from McKinney was definitely a culture shock as well at the time, just to see how it was a little more rough and, we had to figure out survival and stuff like that. So it was, I had different taste of different experiences growing up.
Gotcha. So you come from a two-parent household?
I really come from really one parent. I grew up with my dad, but he had different women, and eventually spent most of the time with a stepmom, and then they parted ways. But I would say pretty much a one parent household, but sometimes a two with the stepmom.
All right. What kind of student was you in elementary and junior high?
Man, well, elementary, I was very inquisitive. I was, was definitely wanting to learn, but I was also a class clown type of
Okay.
guy. I wanted to make everybody laugh.
Right.
Same thing in middle school. I think.
Where'd you go in middle school?
I went to Faith Family, and no, I went to Life Charter in middle school. So yeah, Life Charter. Yep, and then middle school from fifth to ninth grade, and I spent my 10th grade year. Moved to Hebron High School. Carrollton, went to Hebron, then I went to Cedar Hill High School.
You went to Hebron High School in Carrollton, and then you went to school
in Cedar Hill.
Okay, so Carrollton is north, and then Cedar Hill is down south.
Right.
How did you what happened where you got the two extremes?
Well, my dad obviously, wanted better for us and shit. So, that's why we he seen how I was in Oak Cliff getting in trouble and shit. Mm-hmm. And he wanted me to get away from that. So, yeah, he was always trying to, live in like nice places, nice houses. And when he could do that, he pulled it off. But yeah, so that's what that was. But even with us living in Carrollton, like he got a house that was somebody tricked him, I guess, and he bought a house or was getting down with a house that was getting foreclosed. You know what I'm saying? That eventually got foreclosed on him. And so shit, we had to go back down south from that point.
Gotcha. So that's how you finished in high school. Once you graduated high school, what were you thinking that was up next for you?
Graduating high school, I always wanted to be like a big time rapper, you know what I'm saying, of course, or entertainer of some sort. Mm-hmm. But for sure, I was definitely, thought college was the thing to do. So I spent my tenure at college.
Which college?
I went to Cedar Valley Community College. So yeah, I did that for a long time. I didn't go to a 4-year yet. I might, I plan on going eventually. But yeah, so yeah, I did that. I went for audio engineering
Okay.
and music and stuff like that.
Okay. And so was it in high school that you realized that music was your thing, or was it before that?
For sure in high school, it was definitely high. Well, no, for sure before that. But my dad was a musician too, so it was just in my blood. But I think I picked up like rapping probably middle school and just started putting money behind it like in probably my sophomore junior year type shit.
So most people they have a it depends on your time frame. Okay, like for example, a lot of people that was growing up in the '90s, they would say Tupac is the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of people say Tupac because he was Afeni Shakur's son, his stepfather, Matulu Shakur. He found out late who his father was. I think of Billy Garland. Who would you say rap wise was the greatest inspiration on you?
Greatest, I don't know. That's really hard to say, but probably somebody like Tupac or Andre 3000
Really?
or something like that for sure.
No Lil Wayne?
I mean, I fuck with Wayne, but I don't know if he necessarily influenced my style and what I got going on. But I definitely fuck with Wayne a lot. I think Wayne influenced a lot of artists.
Right.
Especially with the auto tune. I think even with the diamonds on your teeth, the tattoos and piercings on your face, and especially in the rap game. I don't really, and the auto tune. Even though T-Pain popularized it too, but a lot of people fuck with it with Wayne. But so he influenced a lot of people, but I don't know if he particularly influenced me. Other than other than his lyricism, his lyricism. So in a way, he definitely did influence me because I really revere him for his lyricism.
Gotcha. In terms of your projects that you worked on, I know of a few. I'm a fan myself, actually. What would you say was your favorite project and why?
As far as like my compilation,
Yeah.
Probably this last one. I think this last one. No Ops Like the Rain. In the Y.
Please tell us about it, just so we can be aware.
Oh yeah, man. So hey, man, I got an album, a project, a CD, probably about 15, 16 songs, something like that. Available everywhere: iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen to music. Yeah, man, it's really smooth. It's unique. It's original. If you're into original music, artists not necessarily trying to sound like other artists, but have their unique sound, man, and with a message. And a vibe to it too, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely somebody you should check out. Brotha Shawt, No Ops Like the Rain. I got a song on there called No Ops. Another song called Like the Rain. So yeah, I would definitely check that out. It's real smooth. I think it's a lot of classics on there. I just need to find my audience, the type of people that are craving my type of music. I haven't found too many of those people yet.
Gotcha. Very good music.
And I would say the why I like it the best is because I have the most fun with it, and a lot of that was not pre-written. It was came up with on the spot in the studio. So that was another fun thing.
Absolutely. In terms of activism, you are known. One of the things that you're known for is the Botham Jean Boulevard street name change.
Mm-hmm.
If you could tell us a little bit about that, how that came to be, and what impact do you feel that may have left for the community?
Yeah, so that it came about, just having conversations with Conrad. Well, actually, I think me and you was chopping it up with another individual that we kick it with, and we were just tossing ideas about how dope that'd be, and just how messed up the Botham Jean murder was, and police brutality, and just different things we could do. And then just the conversation came up, man, what if we could change that street to Botham John, and then we got excited about it. We got crunk, and then we did further research, and we found out that there was already an initiative taking place. Like I think it was a Change.org petition that we eventually found out that about a guy named Chris Norman put together. We eventually reached out to him with another lady, Dr. Pamela Grayson. And we just got together, man, just seeing about the possibility about it. And, we organized, we organized on the ground level. I even recall going to store businesses on the same street, trying to garner support, let them know, get signatures, because we had to sign a petition. I even recall almost getting a physical altercation at Zalot's Pizza on what was formerly known as Botham John.
Wow.
Behind this, because, just they didn't respect it at the time. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people didn't respect it. They didn't take us serious. But, we eventually got support, and our idea got usurped by, the current council people, city council members at that time.
But let me ask you, so you, on February 5th, 2020, you went and spoke at the city council meeting, is that right?
Right. I think.
And what kind of what were you saying at the city council meeting?
We were pretty much letting them know that the council, that we wanted their support in pushing the Botham John street change, but the Botham John Boulevard street change. When we also wanted it to extend past, up into the north of North Lamar. We wanted the whole street or something to that effect, but we were definitely letting them know that this was something that we were pushing, right, and we wanted their support for it.
So it sounds like, you just correct me if I'm wrong here, Chris Norman puts together a petition, we found out about it, and basically you went and spoke before the city council. This is the first time they've heard of any of this, publicly speaking, and said, hey, let's rename Lamar, who was the second president of Texas, which at the time was a Confederate state. We went there and you spoke and basically put it in the face of our city council members. Just overall, oftentimes in this work, we don't necessarily get acknowledged often. There's very few times that we do, but in spite of all that, the community recognizes that you were the focal point of that movement. But what impact do you think is going to be left for generations to come, because that name did change from Lamar Street to Botham John?
Yeah, for the people that know and the people that share and talk about it and the people that might do their research on what happened, I just think what I hope it would do is just give the average, regular, working class or everyday brother in Highland Hills or in Oak Cliff or, just in the southern sector of Dallas, to let them know that, man, you don't have to come from a certain background to make an impact in your community. If it's regular people like us able to make change in our community, that's the impact that I would like to have, to let the everyday person know that their involvement matters, and you can move mountains, even if that's getting a historic street name change after like you said, a very revered person in Texas history, whether if they were a genocidal maniac, you know what I'm saying? Just to let people know that they could change the narrative in the landscape in our city.
Most definitely. Now, also, something that you're known quite well for is the Alkaline Hour. That's a store that you have had open, I think, for 4 years now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Pretty close to 4 years, if not surpassed that time frame. And that's something that it has been servicing the community consistently, bringing a high level of dietary regimen to the community that hasn't been out there before. If you could tell us what inspired that, and what got you going today and still pushing that several years later.
Pretty much what inspired it is just the loss of my parents due to cancer, and even other family members through preventable health diseases. It just inspired me to change my lifestyle, and eventually change my lifestyle. It was definitely a journey and a process. just to not let that be my story. And but what kept me pushing was just to be able to see that, man, I wasn't able to save my parents, but, to be able to see other people that, we've helped, and they give us all these countless testimonies. And I just think it's cool, it's inspiring, and I want to scale what I do and do it in more communities, and have these, these realities, and excuse me, these revelations of healing and life altering, positive change in the neighborhood, in every neighborhood. So yeah, man, just to see the smiles on people's faces, and to know people have a alternative, because at the time we didn't have that. It just makes me wonder if, like, man, if we had something like this when my parents were going through that situation, would they possibly still be here, or had longer to stay with us? So that's pretty much my story on my store. My personal situation is what motivated this, and my journey eventually turned into entrepreneurship.
Gotcha. Now, prior to that, a few months before, you were and some other guys were patrolling the streets in Highland Hills, and I know that there have been some talk about possibly continuing some of that in the near future. What do you think was some of the highs as well as the lows patrolling the streets of Highland Hills that you did back in 2019?
Man, the highs is definitely being able to go in an environment, and a highly volatile environment, to where it's extremely tense when you go over there, and then eventually feel that tension go away, and then hear people. And then when you come, like, you don't really, we first came, we didn't see too many kids outside. But after, weeks or months of being there, you seen all these kids eventually coming outside, and hearing from their parents that, they felt appreciated, or they appreciated us for what we were doing as well, because it gives their kids a space to play, and not only that, but we were also giving out items and stuff, necessities for the community, food. So just to being able to build a rapport, and actually see physical, a palpable change in terms of safety and security in one of the most dangerous or notorious neighborhood in our city. I felt like that was a reward to hear from the parents. One of the lows was obviously getting shot at, while we was out there by somebody, and not really knowing if we should fire back, or just continue to assess the situation. Another low was, actually being kicked out, you know what I'm saying, and being removed, and feeling like that, the current councilman person, Tanel Atkins, and the current at the time police chief Renee Hall conspired with the apartment complex to get us removed. That was a low, because we established that relationship with the community. Um, what else, man? But it was an experience. It was ups and downs. It was cool, man. We made a lot of relationships. I see people now that even come to the blue store next to my store, the corner store, and they that lived in apartments. You know what I'm saying? And they come and holler at me and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, to this day, man, we had effects on people. Um, yeah, but man, and another low was just kind of, kind of having to kick out homeless people out of the vacant apartments, which that was one of our duties, being there and just knowing they ain't really had nowhere to go for real. But we had to do what we had to do. But that was another low.
Gotcha.
Oh, and seeing the young brother that day, where he was on some kind of drug. He was on a drug. He was probably on some wet. You know what I'm saying? How he was acting in front of his mother, and we built a relationship with him and his mother. But to see him in that light that night, and his mother was scared and all of that, that was another, just to see a community like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, I concur that those were some interesting times. For those that may not remember, 2019 had a supposed high crime time frame in the city, and we had all types of police agencies in South Dallas. And at the same time, we were patrolling the neighborhoods in Highland Hills. Um, and believe it or not, we still here because of folks like Shawt, Davante Peters, and what we're actually interviewing at now is what we would call it, what will probably open officially in February, the Malcolm X Academy. Um, I'm trying to think, at least for you, there have, politically speaking, there have been black folks, African Americans, Moors, or however you want, Israelites, however you want to identify them, in political seats for the better part of the last 40 years.
Okay.
And oftentimes we hear folks say we got to get engaged, we got to get involved. Well, if you judge by those in power at this time, especially here where we're at, those are black people, those are African Americans, whatever they identify themselves. Um, what impact do you think of having black people in office for the last 40 years, at least for this city, at least for this area, Highland Hills, South Dallas, Pleasant Grove, those areas? Do you feel like they have been beneficial? And if you do, say why. And if not, advise us why.
Yeah, so overall, I mean, there have been individuals that have done things that are beneficial, and there have been individuals that have worked against it as well. Like the Marvin Crenshaws, the Diane Ragsdales, and then even in his day, John Wiley Price, so there's examples of people that have done things, but at the same time, it's not enough for somebody just to simply be black in office, because this city, for damn sure, is a great example of all skin folk aren't kinfolk. And even if they do some good things in there, those good things can be negated if they do, things against the community afterwards, and consistently. That's your consistent politics. You know what I'm saying? So it's not enough just for somebody to look like us for them to be in office. They need to have our best interest in mind. They need to be vetted in those things, not just because they go to the NAACP meetings or they go to the town budget meetings or they go to the galas, or the things, they go to they go to the events. You know what I'm saying? You see them on the scene, and you know them, you have a relationship with them. But what history do they have for standing up for the people? You know what I'm saying? And putting the people over. Putting the people first. And I think the thing is, like, when people get in the office, they start playing politics. Which, like, a lot of people tell me to do. They like get in first and stuff like that. But I feel like if you have that mentality, then you can be flipped. You know what I'm saying? Because how long do you play politics? Especially if you have a 2-year term. It's like, how long can you do that? But also, I see a lot of people that seem promising before they get in there. They get in there and then they try to learn how the government works and what's best for the government. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I don't think they're playing that. They get in there for the people. I think they get in there to see how to learn the system, see where they can finagle and finesse and where they can benefit themselves and their community or their friends or their network, excuse me. So yeah, no, just because they're black is not enough. I would prefer somebody that doesn't look like us but understands our issues and champions us and is extremely vocal, is loud for us in City Hall, because the horseshoe is silent. It's silent. There ain't no noise down there. Not in terms for the southern sector. Ain't nobody out there yelling for economic development in Highland Hills or Oak Cliff and championing us to have great grocery stores. not no food basket, not a Joe V's, not second, third rate stores in our community, but quality stores, you know, like the Albertsons that lied and said they were going to come to the southern sector or come to Redbird. Um, you know, we need, and then the city council members, no way that they didn't know that prior to, and they did not inform the community. We needed somebody that's an advocate, that's going to advocate and stand with us and be consistent in that. So, whatever the skin tone is.
Gotcha. So we're rounding down 2024. We got a few days left in 2024. For you, what are things looking like for you, just in general, for 2025?
Man, 2025 is definitely scaling. I want to 10x what I'm doing in terms of having multiple locations, in terms of having employing multiple people, having relationships, man, that I didn't have before, and having income, man, in business that I didn't have before. But I would also like to do classes, at the Malcolm X Academy, or if it's teaching AI, like I'm learning, or teaching, about herbs, or just teaching, business, whatever it looks like, man. I want to definitely be more involved, or be, very involved with the academy. Hopefully I win my election in May 3rd. And shoot, man, I'm making very, very, very strong, very visible, very fillable, understand me, change, a very extreme change in my community, things that we've been needing. So those are just being more politically involved. I would like to go to Africa. I plan on going to Africa as well. And, touch down in the motherland, man, connecting with those people out there, and just, just pushing the movement, bro.
Gotcha. What's the best way for folks to get in touch with you?
Man, if you want to get in touch with me, man, you can pull up on me, 4414 South Marsalis Avenue, Dallas, Texas, at The Alkaline Hour, or holla at us at The Alkaline Hour on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you name it, we're there. Brother Shawt, you know what I'm saying? If you want to hit me up personally, I'm on Instagram, YouTube, starting a YouTube channel, and I'm really going to be more vocal on there. So there's various ways you can holler at me, or, you can pull up to the Malcolm X Academy, man, you know what I'm saying? Give us a donation up if you want to come talk to me. Donate us some chairs, man.